Biological hotspots. It's a concept that looks at of course, the number of species in any given area, but just as importantly, it's how rare those species are in any given area. So when you look at the number of species and combine them with a weighted index of rarity, there are 5 places in North America that pop out. 3 of them are out west in California, Nevada. One of them is up in the Appalachians, and then one is centered right here in the Apalachicola River drainage. So the Apalachicola River hotspot, the biodiversity hotspot, it affects both plants and animals. The biodiversity and just the ground cover in a small area like a square meter, the diversity in that small area is rivals the species richness in the tropics. The longleaf pine habitat provides the neighborhood for species like the gopher tortoise and the red-cockaded woodpecker. It once covered 90 million acres, and due to the fact that the range of longleaf pine has been reduced approximately 95%, yes, it's one of the rarest natural communities in North America. There is currently a robust effort going on. We're about midway through a region-wide restoration plan for longleaf pine. The Nature Conservancy in northern Florida has been working with Torrey State Park for getting close to 10 years now to provide assistance to them with their longleaf restoration and ground cover restoration project that we developed here on the Apalachicola Bluffs and Ravines.
My name's Aaron Miller. I'm the park manager at Torrey State Park. Back before, when we were heavy longleaf pine all through the southeast, lightning strikes during the burnt growing season, May and June, July. That's our wildfire season usually during pretty much all of Florida anyway, and Georgia and Alabama, the southeast. You had lightning strikes and they would just burn up thousands and thousands of acres. It helped the reproduction of wiregrass seed and helped the trees clear debris.
In the Apalachicola region, the soils are particularly poor, which brings the importance of prescribed fire into focus. As this really diverse community grows, it is constantly recycled by fire every 1 to 3 years. So those very finite, rare nutrients that are in the soil are released, brought back into the ground so new growth can continue to use them.
What we got right here is a little clump of wiregrass. It makes good fuel, allows for our habitat to really flourish with this wiregrass and just longleaf pine and a few scattered other species. And if you look real close, you can actually see where the seed came from, little follicles right along in here, little stems. But this makes for very good fuel as well when we do prescribed fire. There is other pines like the loblolly pine, you have the sand pine, you have the shortleaf pine, you have several different other pine trees, but none of them are really resilient to fire as well as longleaf is. This here, what we're standing next to, it was a turkey oak. It was burned back in May. It hasn't had an opportunity, a growing season yet to come back. There's one thing about fire, it'll help maintain these trees. It'll keep them, it won't kill them, it'll kill some, but it won't allow them to overtake and be the dominant tree in this area, because they would be very, very, very thick over a short amount of time if they weren't maintained by fire.
The amount of restoration that this program has been involved in over the years is tens of thousands of acres. Some of the projects are smaller and are more expensive and labor intensive, like the work at Torrey State Park, where we are doing complete soup to nuts restoration from bare mineral soil to a fully functioning longleaf pine sandhill habitat in 40 months. That's a very intensive effort. We're able to do about 300 acres a year. However, on other sites where the restoration needs are less, we're able to plant thousands of acres of just the pine trees.
The red-cockaded woodpecker hasn't been at the Torrey site, those pinelands, for a long, long time. But who knows? Eventually, they may move back, and that's because they are growing longleaf pine trees and they're burning underneath the pine trees, and that's all critical for the woodpecker.